Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good fighter, but like I say, he's weight classes for a reason.
It's business, it's the office. I enjoy it because this is what I love to do.
Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter.
I understand, Canelo is bigger than me and whatnot, but I'm up for the challenge.
Canelo Alvarez has reacted to Terence Crawford's new training footage. Crawford is intensifying his training regimen in preparation for a potential bout against Canelo. His workouts encompass a blend of strength and conditioning exercises, including weightlifting and resistance training to build power and endurance. Additionally, Crawford focuses on refining his punching techniques through mitt work and heavy bag sessions, enhancing his speed and precision. Arab Sheikh Turki Al-Sheikh, an avid boxing fan, has promised to bring several world-class fights by 2025. Among these, the most anticipated could be the long-awaited clash between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, potentially set for September. According to Boxing News Online, both fighters privately met in London last week, outside of Al-Sheikh's radar, and reportedly began negotiating the terms of their highly anticipated bout. ESPN reported that the fight is being planned for the weekend of Mexico's Independence Day in mid-September. ESPN boxing specialist Mike Coppinger stated, "From what I'm told, they're in the process of finalizing a deal for a fight in September, Mexican Independence Day weekend, and it will be in Las Vegas with the 168-pound weight limit, no rehydration clause. However, one key challenge remains. Crawford would need to gain 14 pounds to match the weight category of the Mexican fighter. Canelo has gradually moved up in weight classes over the years, starting at super welterweight, where he won the WBC world title, and later becoming the unified middleweight champion at 160 pounds. He briefly moved up to light heavyweight, defeating Sergey Kovalev to win the IBF title, before dropping to super middleweight, where he became the first undisputed four-belt champion. While Canelo's fights rarely go to decision, something that has been uncommon since 2016, Crawford would need to jump 2 weight classes to face Canelo. Canelo has expressed reservations about facing Terence Crawford, emphasizing the importance of weight classes in boxing. He stated, "There are weight classes for a reason," suggesting that Crawford's optimal performance is at 147 pounds. This perspective follows Crawford's recent move to 154 pounds, where he secured a world title by defeating Israil Madrimov. Despite Crawford's success, Canelo believes that moving up to 168 pounds to challenge him would be a significant leap, potentially disadvantaging Crawford due to the size and power differences. Canelo's stance underscores the traditional boxing principle that weight divisions exist to ensure fair and competitive matchups, maintaining the sport's integrity and athlete safety.
Obviously, you can't look forward past Saturday, but do you feel like a fight like Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight, he's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better. Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good fighter, but like I say, he's weight classes for a reason. I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and then you never know what happened.
Yeah, for sure.
Canelo exposes Crawford's padded record. Canelo is right about Crawford. He's gone through his 17-year career without fighting elite-level or A-level opposition. His best win was a depleted, ring-worn, weight-drained, car crash-wrecked version of Spence. Other than him, no one on Crawford's resume stands out to say he rates the praise that he's been given. He's a product of how clever promoters match fighters in this era. He's very talented, but he just won one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter. Other than that, he hasn't beaten other good fighters like Spence, said Canelo to TMZ Sports, downgrading Crawford's record. Canelo is right. Bud Crawford has only one notable name on his resume, the worn-out Errol Spence, who hasn't looked the same since his high-speed 100 miles per hour car crash with his expensive Ferrari in 2019. Crawford's resume is void of talented fighters. Basically, Crawford has been the favorite in every fight he's been in during his 17-year career, and that's not because there weren't fighters that would have been 50. 50 fights.
Are you tired of people asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, I always say, I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with Spence. He did like almost look very easy but I knew Terence Crawford is a great fighter. But you never know in boxing. We'll see.
Canelo recently commented on Terence Crawford's career. This prompted Crawford to fire back on X, saying, "LOL, that's crazy. So every fighter I've fought is not good but one? Noted. Just remember what you said because I've always had the joy in making somebody's look like nobodies." Critics of Crawford argue that he has been matched carefully against B-level opponents to maintain an unblemished record, avoiding top-tier fighters like Jaron Ennis, Bakram Murtazaliev, and Virgil Ortiz Jr. Additionally, some believe Crawford should move up to 168 pounds and face the likes of David Benavidez or David Morrell to prove himself worthy of a fight against Canelo. However, Crawford maintains confidence in his accomplishments, dismissing the notion that his resume is weak or padded and continuing to assert his dominance in the sport. Canelo has acknowledged the widespread desire among fighters to face him, stating, "Everyone wants to fight with me, so it's fine. If a fight makes sense, then why not?" Previously, Canelo was hesitant to fight Terence Crawford, citing a lack of credit for defeating a smaller opponent. However, his stance has evolved over time. Recently, Canelo met with boxing power broker Turki Alalshik in London to discuss a potential bout with Crawford. If the fight materializes, Crawford will move up to super middleweight, a significant jump that some experts believe may be challenging for him. Two-weight world champion Teofimo Lopez, who has trained alongside Canelo under coach Eddie Reynoso, is among those who think the weight increase could be too much for Crawford. Despite these concerns, the potential matchup has generated significant excitement among boxing fans and analysts.
It's disrespectful for Crawford to call you out at 68, say that he can beat you at this weight?
No, everybody wants to fight with me, so it's fine.
That being a biggest fight possible in boxing, is that something you'd actually be interested in?
It's crazy when you asking about that because you say, your matchup is coming out of the other weight classes and that's it, and he's welterweight, so don't make sense. But if the fight made sense, why not?
A lot of people have him at number one pound for pound. You think that's fair to you?
It's a few people there who deserve to be the number one pound per pound, and it's fine.
Canelo has expressed confidence regarding a potential fight with Terence Crawford, stating, "Easy money. If the money is right, I'm in, because I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he moves a lot, and the fight is boring." This sentiment reflects Canelo's belief that Crawford's style, characterized by significant movement, may not align with his preferred matchups. Despite this, discussions about a bout between the two champions have progressed, with reports indicating that an agreement has been reached for a fight in Las Vegas in September 2025. This potential matchup has generated significant interest within the boxing community. Canelo has recently discussed potential future bouts, notably with undefeated champion Terence Crawford. Following his victory over Edgar Berlanga, Canelo acknowledged the possibility of facing Crawford, stating, "Anything is possible." He emphasized the importance of securing favorable terms for such a high-profile match. In a subsequent development, reports emerged that Canelo and Crawford have engaged in promising discussions with Saudi boxing chief Turki Alalshik to arrange a major fight in 2025. Both fighters have reportedly agreed on a September showdown in Las Vegas. While these developments indicate a potential mega fight on the horizon, Canelo remains focused on his current commitments. He has expressed a willingness to consider such a bout after fulfilling his existing obligations.
Always is a chance there, right? We'll see, but always is a chance there, and we're here to make the best deals, and always a chance.
And I do have to ask you about Dimitri Bivol, because that's a rematch you've always talked about wanting. How do you see the rematch going with Bivol and Beterbiev?
I think it's going to be another good fight. It's going to be another good fight. Both fighters are good fighters, so I think both have a chance to win. Like the first one was a really good fight.
So whatever is next, we look forward to it, my friend. Thank you so much and have a great evening.
Canelo is expected to be a key part of the Riyadh series following recent discussions about a potential mega fight with Terence Crawford. The event, hosted in Saudi Arabia, aims to showcase top-tier boxing talent. With both fighters agreeing to terms for a bout in September 2025, the Riyadh series is set to feature the highly anticipated showdown. Sheikh Turki Al-Sheikh has been eager to bring major events to Saudi Arabia, offering over $200 million to bring Canelo to Riyadh. In an interview at the opening of El Pastor del Rica in San Diego, Canelo said, "I never say no to business," and is open to negotiations if the deal is right. He revealed that 80% of the profits from his fights, including ticket sales, go directly to him. Canelo explained that he takes these risks knowing he stands to make substantial money.
Saul, my carnal, how are you? Quick question. I know, as we walk, Canelo, how important is it that you've spoke with Turki Al-Sheikh?
Say again, please.
How important for you is it that you've spoke to Turki Al-Sheikh, and what did you speak about?
Look, I like to work with everybody. You know, I'm a free agent, and I like to work with everybody. And you know, I like to have the doors open.
Are we going to see Canelo Crawford next?
We'll see. It's a possibility there always. No, we'll see what happens.
Have you spoke with Turki about that show? About Canelo?
We know each other. We don't talk that much for make a deal and anything, but you know, we now know each other, and we'll see what happens.
Last one, I know you're pushed for time. Benavidez Morel, who wins?
It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight. 50-50 fight.
Canelo, thank you for that.
In a recent interview, Mikey Garcia shared his thoughts on a hypothetical fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford. Garcia praised Crawford as one of the most skilled fighters he has seen, recounting a conversation they had where he acknowledged Crawford's achievements and the lack of recognition he receives due to politics and favoritism in boxing. Despite Crawford's impressive skills, Garcia highlighted the significant size difference between the two fighters as a decisive factor. He noted that Canelo competes at 168 pounds, while Crawford recently moved up to 154 pounds and faced challenges at that weight. Garcia expressed doubt about Canelo dropping below 166 pounds and believed the size and power advantage would favor Canelo, even though Crawford is the more technically skilled fighter. Ultimately, Garcia stated he is not in favor of the matchup, emphasizing that Crawford has already achieved greatness across multiple weight divisions. Dan Rafael, a seasoned boxing analyst, has provided insights into a potential fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford. He notes that Canelo is astute in business matters and would be motivated by the substantial financial rewards such a bout would offer. Rafael suggests that this matchup could be one of the most significant in boxing history, drawing immense attention and generating substantial revenue. He emphasizes that both fighters are at the pinnacle of their careers, making this potential fight a highly anticipated event in the boxing world.
In May, I've read somewhere that Canelo has shortlisted Crawford for the May fight, his fight in May. Dan, what's happening?
Yeah, listen, I think it's just a fluid situation. I don't think there's anything definitive one way or the other at this point. I mean, it's not a secret that that's a fight that's been discussed by a lot of us and by a lot of people in the sport for quite a while. Certainly, it's a fight that Turki Al-Sheikh from Saudi Arabia has shown a lot of interest in. And of course, if it's going to get made, someone's going to have to put up a lot of guaranteed money. And he's probably the person that's going to do it. He's obviously been working closely with Terence Crawford. He was involved with Terence Crawford's last fight that took place in August when he fought Israel Madrimov. It's obviously a fight that Terence Crawford has been very vocal about wanting. Now, Canelo hasn't ever said he wanted the fight, kind of downplayed it to a certain degree. But it wasn't that long ago. I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago, he was doing an appearance and he was asked about it and he didn't close the door on it. In the past, he sort of like closed the door on it and was like, I'm not interested. He's like, listen, I'll talk to anybody and listen to what they have to say about the deal, any kind of deal. So in my mind, that sort of at least cracked open the door to have the conversation. Like he wasn't just saying, forget it in terms of working with Turki or anybody else. So I think that Canelo is a smart person in terms of his boxing, but also in terms of his business. And when he looks around at the landscape and he wants to make a huge amount of money, like all top fighters or any fighter for that matter, and he looks and sees who can I fight where I can make the biggest score, in a big time fight.
Ryan Garcia has expressed strong confidence in a potential fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford. He predicts that Canelo, known for his size and strength, would have the upper hand in this matchup. Garcia's assertion aligns with recent reports indicating that negotiations for the fight are nearing completion, with a target date set for September 2025 in Las Vegas. The bout is expected to take place at 168 pounds, with Crawford moving up 2 weight classes to challenge Canelo for his unified super middleweight titles. This fight is anticipated to be a major commercial event, drawing significant attention from boxing fans worldwide. Terence Crawford has expressed his enthusiasm for a potential fight with Canelo, describing it as the biggest fight in boxing. He has long desired this matchup, recognizing its massive appeal to fans worldwide. Crawford acknowledges that Canelo's size advantage is significant, stating, "Canelo is bigger than me." Despite this, he remains confident in his abilities and is eager to face the challenge. The fight is reportedly close to being finalized, with a target date set for September 2025 in Las Vegas. This bout is anticipated to be a major commercial event, drawing significant attention from boxing fans globally.
Guys, we know the fighters know the intel before the news gets released to the public. King Ryan was asked about Canelo Crawford. He not only says he can't believe they got that fight done, meaning that that's a done deal. We obviously knew that, but he also gives you who he thinks wins that fight, Canelo or Crawford. Do you agree with Ryan Garcia?
Right.
What about Canelo and Crawford? What do you think?
That's going to be a great fight, too. I can't believe they made that happen. So, yeah, Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really hate on it. But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo is so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for a reason. Last question, Ali.
Stephen A. Smith shared his thoughts on a potential matchup between Canelo and Terence Crawford, emphasizing the intrigue of the fight. He initially leaned toward Crawford, highlighting his exceptional skills as a pure boxer and his ability to outclass opponents in the ring. However, Smith raised concerns about Crawford's ability to hurt Canelo, a physically imposing fighter with immense power. Smith noted how Canelo's relentless pressure and powerful shots can overwhelm boxers who lack the capacity to keep him at bay. While acknowledging Crawford's technical superiority, Smith expressed doubts about whether Crawford could withstand or evade Canelo's power over the course of the fight. Ultimately, he found the matchup compelling, with Crawford's skill and strategy potentially being tested like never before against a force as dominant as Canelo.
Speaking of Canelo, it looks very possible he'll fight Crawford in May. What would you think of that matchup, Canelo and Crawford?
You know what, I think my initial reaction would be to say that I think that Crawford would be the superior boxer, as great as Canelo is, as seasoned as he is, with 65 fights, if I recall, on his record. He's phenomenal. But Crawford is something special. I think that he's a better pure boxer. I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. My concern is that he won't hurt Canelo. And if he doesn't hurt Canelo and can't hurt Canelo, then Canelo keeps coming. Similar to how he stalked Charlo, how he stalked, once he had Plant hurt, he chased after him. Canelo is a very powerful individual who can get exposed by a boxer because every shot he throws, he's trying to make it a power shot. But to me, can Crawford hurt him? I would pick Crawford to win if he can box and stay away. I don't believe he can hurt Canelo. And if Canelo catches him, it could be trouble. But I would still say it would be a very interesting fight. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. And I'm wondering whether he could stay away. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer.
Crawford's fight with Ndongo showed that it might not be as easy or punishing as some might think. Early on, he had his hands full, but he showed his true strength as a fighter. Crawford's willingness to fight and drive to win are key factors in his success. He has a chip on his shoulder and the determination to step up when necessary. When things are tight and rounds are close, he rises to the challenge, demonstrating his dedication and championship mindset. However, the main issue with the fight is the weight difference. People may try to spin it or speculate about personal feelings, but the weight disparity remains a significant point of concern.
Let's be honest. When Crawford fought Madrimov, he had his hands full, especially early in the fight. Now, I give props to Crawford because Crawford is the type of fighter where he does have like a chip on his shoulder and a willingness to win. He has drive, and if you tell him step it up, the rounds are too close, you're going to get a dedicated Crawford. So he is a true fighter, a true champion, all that. The biggest gripe I have with the fight is the weight. You guys could try to spin it and say I hate this guy or that guy. I don't really care. What do I look like being a true alpha and being bothered by what people say? I don't care. I'm telling you my opinion. And my opinion is not going to change because I know you guys can't change it. I've said the same thing, and not one time have I heard one of the Bud Buddies offer a solution to the arguments that I've brought up. Crawford is good, but so is Canelo. If they were naturally the same size, which they're not, Crawford is probably maybe a little bit taller, but I'm talking about mass.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.